Hey, what's up guys? Coach Jay here. Today I'm going to be taking you through 5 explosive push-up variations to take your explosive strength and power to the next level. All right guys, variation number 1 is going to be the explosive plate push-ups. This is one of my favorite explosive push-up variations to build that upper body explosive strength and power. If you follow my functional pump workouts on the JTM Fit app, you guys know we build these in to our programming very often. So first things first, let's talk about the setup. Number 1, you always want to start really low and then work your way up. Don't just start, trying to jump onto really high plates. Make sure you start very low, master the technique, and then start increasing that height if you choose to do so. So the distance between the plates, you want to have enough distance obviously that you can fit in between the plates. I'd say roughly 18 inches. And what we're going to focus on the most is a slow descent into the bottom of that push-up, lightly touch the chest, and explode up onto the plates fast and with power. So let me demonstrate. So in strong push-up position, glutes are tight, abs are tucked, everything's locked in, shoulders over the wrists. From here, elbows tight to the body, lower with control, touch, explode up quick and with power to the plates. So lower down with control, explode up with power, so max power and force out of the bottom. Things you want to avoid: using your hips. We want to focus on the upper body, so try your best not to let your hips extend and use hip extension to drive you up onto the plates. Try to put all the focus onto the chest, so it's just an upper body movement as opposed to using those hips to help you jump up onto the plates. Next variation, we have the explosive push-up to single arm planks. This is a very advanced variation, so make sure that your explosive push-up game is pretty strong before attempting this one. We have a lot going on with this movement. We have the explosive push-up component, which is going to help build that explosive strength and power. Then we also have that single arm plank or single arm stab, which is going to help work coordination, more explosiveness, hip, core stability, as well as shoulder stability. So let's talk about the movement. Let's break it down. Let's go. So we start off, kettlebell. Make sure the kettlebell is nice and sturdy. We're going to be over the kettlebell, push-up position, core is tight, glutes are turned on, shoulders over the wrists. We're going to lower our chest till it lightly touches. We're going to explode up quick to that single arm plank, shoulder over the wrist, core is braced tight. Try and keep those hips parallel with the floor. From here, we're going to step down, reset, explode up, and hit that other side, step down, reset. Explode up, keep that core tight, keep those hips as neutral as possible. So be fast and explosive. Think of it as a stab. We're coming up, boom, almost punching the kettlebell. Next variation, we have the Superman push-up. Also a very advanced exercise, but it's going to build a lot of explosive strength and power. So first things first, let's talk about the setup. I want you guys using a mat of some sort just to take a little bit of the stress off the wrist when you're performing this exercise. Also, I'm going to show you some progressions you can use. So if you cannot do a full Superman push-up, I'm going to show you some progressions that you can use to help you get on the track to building the strength to perform this exercise properly. So first things first, let's go into the exercise. Let me show you a few reps. So strong push-up position as always, shoulders over the wrist, glutes are tight, core is tight. I'm going to lower down, extend those arms out. So super key that we're being explosive, shooting those arms out and pulling them back under the body as fast as possible. And also, just like the explosive plate push-up and all of our push-up variations, we do not want to use our hips. So if you're lacking the strength, it's going to be just natural for you to want to use hip extension, so that worming effect, right? And also lifting your butt up in the air to get the hands off the ground and get them back underneath. So I want you to avoid that as much as possible. Do not do that. Keep the core tight, keep the glutes tight, keep all the focus on the upper body. So if this variation is too advanced for you, let's just go over a couple progressions that you can use to help you build the strength to achieving the full Superman push-up. So first variation is going to be the regular explosive push-up. So we're here, strong push-up position. Just getting as high up off the ground as possible, no hip extension. So remember, in all these progressions, make sure you're building the strength to do these movements without using hip extension. Second progression is going to be the clap push-up. So push-up position, we lower down and hit that clap. Third progression is going to be the chest tap push-up. So now instead of doing the clap, we come a little higher up, so we start to get comfortable with really getting our hands up and off the ground and back underneath our body quickly. Fourth progression, we're going to start to extend the arms out, but not all the way. So just minimal range of motion, just to start getting comfortable with the movement and the speed that's required to get the hands back underneath the body. So if you get to that fourth progression, just slowly start inching those arms out a little bit further until you achieve full range of motion. Next variation, we have the blast off push-ups. This is also one of my favorite variations. If you follow the functional pump and my training programs, we work this variation pretty often to build that upper body strength, power, and explosiveness. So one of the cool things about this exercise is the eccentric loading portion. So we're going to be blasting off into the push-up, which puts even more force on the body and forces the body to absorb even more force, putting more tension on the chest, tries, and shoulders, as well as still working the explosive component coming back out of that push-up. So this is all around a killer upper body power and strength bodyweight exercise. So we start off in the bear plank position. So shoulders over the wrists, knees are going to be hovering off the floor, about 2 to 3 inches off the floor. Knees are going to be right under the hips, core is braced tight. So from here, we're going to blast off into the push-up. Lower down with control, and then blast back. So blast off, lower down. So we absorb that force, going slowly to the bottom, and then exploding out of the bottom of the push-up back to that starting position. And our last variation is going to be the spider knee to explosive push-up. So I love this variation. We just did this variation just last week in a nice tri-set in the functional pump. So this is a great exercise because we're building a lot of time under tension. We're also working core strength and stability and building that upper body explosiveness and power. So let me show you the movement real quick. So strong push-up position. We're going to lower down to about 1 inch or 2 from the floor. Keep tension in the shoulders, triceps, and chest. From here, we're going to bring one knee out to the side towards that elbow, bring it back, and then explode out of the bottom, lowering right back down. We hit a spider knee on the other side. So we're really working that explosive power out of the bottom, really making sure you keep constant tension on the shoulders and chest. So really pausing in the bottom is going to create more time under tension, so deliver more of a pump with this exercise, as well as force us to really build that power and strength out of the bottom. So this is a killer variation. Make sure you're working both sides with that spider knee on every single rep. And remember, do not use your hips, no hip extension. Focus and isolate that upper body. All right, guys, 5 push-up variations. If you like this video, give it a like, comment below, subscribe to the channel. If you're not quite at the level to perform these variations, as they are pretty advanced, what you can do is modify all these variations by using an elevated surface, something that's sturdy, that's going to hold your body weight, and it's not going to shift around like a workout bench or plyometric box. So the higher the surface is, the easier the exercise or variation is going to be. So pick a height off the ground that allows you to maintain good technique on all these variations. So no excuses. Even if you're more of a beginner, you can still start getting after these exercises and you can still start building that explosive strength and power. So until the next video, talk to you guys soon.